Well, we've turned the mics back on, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs. Hello to everybody. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host of Radio Entrepreneurs, also CEO of MAGE LLC. Thank our hosts who built our studio, MTP Software, the leader in sports CRM. Our next guest, met him a couple of months ago. Quite an experience. Josh Shirazi, owner of Shirazi Distribution. Welcome.
Thank you.
I love talking food distribution. And your family is you have a big footprint in Boston. Why don't you tell us about the company and the family history?
My family's involved in food top to bottom.
Right.
My mother actually was a kosher caterer for a while, and my wife owns cafes in and around Boston called Revival Kitchen and Cafe. And my father and I own a food distribution company called Shirazi Distributing. It's in Boston. It started back many years ago in the mid-'80s. My father owned a kosher-style deli in Belmont Center. And as leases and landlords go, his lease was up and his landlord did not renew. So he was looking for the next project, next step, and he bought out a truck route, basically, from a gentleman who was delivering product to him at the deli. And that's the very, very beginnings of Shirazi Distributing.
So, a good story, up and down story?
Yeah.
What would you say Shirazi is today? Because, the whole distribution, food distribution, broadline, it's been a major shift in Boston for the last, let's say, 12 years, 10 years?
Yeah, I would say so. There's been a lot of consolidation.
Right.
A lot of buyouts.
There are not a lot of local-owned distributors anymore. The Nationals came in, but they didn't necessarily do well.
No, they didn't. We have a unique perspective because we've been on and still are on both sides of the business. On the restaurant end, obviously with my wife, my father owning the deli years ago, and more on the distribution end. So, we really, really understand that. Everybody can sell butter. Everybody can sell eggs. There are different types, obviously, but they're commodity items. So, everyone's going to be pretty much in the same price range if they're going to stay competitive.
And they're perishable.
And they're perishable. It really comes down to customer service and relationships. We don't have contracts with any of our customers, so our contract is our personal relationship with them. In fact, that's my wife was a customer. That's how I met her. Really solidified that relationship.
Yeah.
I've had customers.
We hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yes. I've had customers who were at our wedding. I've been to customers' homes. We really, really have to and want to, as part of what we do, become intricate parts of their business and partners with them versus just somebody who brings them food.
Interesting. Is there a lot of competition in what you do?
A lot. There's a lot. Yeah, there's broadliners, like you said, which are the big national companies that sell everything top to bottom.
And do some people, I know that they go to Costco, not a smart move.
There are. So, it depends on the type of customer. There are smaller customers that don't have a lot
pickers.
They don't have a lot of storage.
Right.
They don't have, they might not have a lot of history or credit to go off of. And there's places like Costco and BJ's, and even more so than that, there's a place called Restaurant Depot.
Been there.
Yeah, that's basically a Costco and BJ's for restaurants.
Right.
And they really do have some, tough prices to compete with. But you have to go there, you have to pick up, and then you have to make a decision.
It's a cash and carry.
It basically, yeah. And you have to make a decision as a restaurant owner or chef. When you go there, do you have a refrigerated vehicle, or are you putting perishables as quickly as you possibly can in a non-refrigerated vehicle, which, some people do and some people can, but there are time constraints on doing something like that, and you have to take time out of your day to actually go do that. But it certainly does work for some restaurants and business owners. So the competition is all the way from the broadliners, the big nationals, to the Costco's, BJ's, and Restaurant Depots where they're going themselves, and everything in between. Again, we do sell some specialty products, but a lot of what we do is commodities. So a lot of people can get into the commodity business if they so choose.
Well, all the alcohol and food distribution companies I know, they're struggling with the new models. Amazon's changed things.
Yeah.
Because you're into perishables like dairy,
Yes.
does that affect you in a positive way that maybe Amazon will not be getting into that area?
Amazon actually is not in this part of the country yet, but they are working towards competing with Restaurant Depot and adding in some sort of delivery service. I don't know too much about it yet, but I do know it's on the horizon. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to factor in. Again, our greatest strength is our relationships with our customers. And, if somebody forgets to order something, 99% of the time we make a same-day delivery for them, which is almost unheard of in the industry, especially without a minimum on it. And we're just really competitive with our prices, and we really, really try and fortify those relationships.
So efficiencies must be very important to you.
Efficiencies are very important
because
to
the
us.
margins aren't very big, and you're saying you're
They're
trying
tight.
to be even tighter.
They're tight. Yeah, they're very, very tight. So you try and work on volume. You try and work on a broad, diversified customer base. And yeah, you really have to minimize waste on our end and be as efficient as we possibly can. Efficiencies can take a hit when you offer a higher level of service, because some of the things that your customers will require are technically inefficient from a distribution standpoint, but that's the cost of, again, fortifying those relationships, is you might lose a little bit of efficiency from time to time.
Let's go to the inside out, the whole family dynamics. Did you go immediately into the business, or did you work somewhere else first?
No, I did. When I got out of grad school, I had a lot of different internships, a law firm, a courthouse, corporate finance. And what I learned is that I wasn't very good at working for someone else. So after about a month or so of hemming and hawing and debating what to do next, I approached my father, who at the time had one truck and one employee and no warehouse. And he was what they called a classic jobber. And a jobber is somebody who goes and picks up stuff for restaurants.
Right.
And I said to him, why don't we try and expand this a little bit? I didn't have any visions of becoming a broadliner. But I did say, there's something here with your customer base and the relationships you've formed, and we can certainly expand on that. He was against it. His initial response was...
Dads don't always make change.
Well, and his response was, somebody who has their MBA in finance shouldn't be fighting for pennies. And in the commodity business, you fight for pennies.
Right.
He was...
You could almost make the other argument. I'm sure you did.
Well, I said, a lot of pennies add up, right?
Yeah.
And I really think there's opportunity here. And he was against it, but he never said no. He said, whatever you want to do, we'll try it. We'll see how it goes. And that's kind of how it started. And, from there, that was in 2003, I believe. And we have, almost 15,000 square feet of warehouse space, almost 20 of us all together at the company, 9 vehicles.
Just the two of you from the family right now, or others have joined?
No, just the two of us. No.
And have the roles evolved?
Yeah, certainly. Because when I started, it was myself, my father, and just a single employee that worked with us. At this point, my father still plays a very integral role. He's in his early 70s at this point. But I kind of refer to him as the figurehead of state. He's almost like the Queen of England, kind of goes around and shakes hands and kisses babies and,
right.
Says, I'm still here, that type of thing. But, very high level decisions, obviously, we have to discuss together. And the day-to-day operations are run by, not even by me at this point. They're run by people that we've hired and trust and have been with us for over a decade now. So, he's in the office every single day, at least for a few hours. He does what he chooses to do, and if,
as he should.
Absolutely.
Right.
He's he's worked very, very hard for a very, very long time. So I wish he
It's
would.
a tough business.
It is, and I wish, I always thought he would, retire and take a break, and it took a long time for me to realize that.
Those types of dads don't retire.
No, he won't. And
No.
the older I get, the more I see I'm somewhat turning into him, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, he'll, as long as he physically is capable of coming into the office and working, he'll certainly still be there, which I'm very happy about.
Because I grew up in the food business, I probably still have those habits. I got up today at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Because that was just the name of the game in the
Yeah.
food business in those days.
It still is.
It's a game of roosters.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
You're up
still-
early
well,
at the dawn.
We actually have an overnight crew now.
Right.
Before the overnight crew, there was a time period where I was, up at 3 a.m. and,
Yeah.
taking down orders and then going to pick up
Who
products.
gets the
we
call when the
needed.
alarm goes off?
There's a group of people that do, but my cell phone is certainly one of them, and my father's is certainly not.
No, he's off the alarm.
Oh, he's
Right?
not. Yeah.
That could be the worst.
Yeah, that's not
Getting the calls in the middle of the night for the alarm.
that's not good. That's
Wow.
not good.
It's great having you on the show, Josh. Family business, food distribution, it's something we like. We hope you come back. Maybe
Wonderful.
bring some stuff you can show us, just even for the videos, some eggs.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can bring you some local cheeses and some
very nice.
some specialty
Unpasteurized,
drinks.
I hope.
Well, you
That's
gotta get
harder
that.
to
You
find.
gotta get that through customs.
I know. I get that when I go to Quebec.
Yep.
It does taste different.
Yeah.
But if somebody's looking for Shirazi distribution, how would they
Yes.
find you?
ShiraziDistributing.com. They can certainly go there, and there's all kinds of information on how to contact us, phone numbers, become a customer form. That's the best way to get in touch with us, and we respond very rapidly when we get a customer inquiry.
Well, you're in a very competitive market that's going through dramatic change, so good luck.
Thank you very much.
Remind everybody, this is Jeffrey Davis. I'm host of Radio Entrepreneurs, and we've been speaking with Josh Shirazi, owner of Shirazi Distribution. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.